to be centered around the 4 pillars of success. And like I said, I had the pleasure to attend the Super Saturday last weekend here in Charlotte with Mr. Darnell Self. And not only did he bring the house down, but he gave a lot of really, really, really good information, really good training about how to continue to build your Legal Shield business, or in any business for that matter, not just Legal Shield. So we're going to talk about the 4 pillars of success, which is literally what he trained on. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And as we go through each of these pillars, like I said, there's 4 pillars. Mr. Beeford, please chime in as needed. All right, so let me share my screen here. This year. Okay. So the 4 pillars of success, based on Mr. Darnell Self, who is, as you know, a $1 million ring earner, millionaire club member. He said that he's working on his, I want to say like 18th million. So he's he's up there, okay? So he knows what he's talking about. He's done this for over 25 years. He knows what he's talking about. All right. So these are his 4 pillars of success that he trained us on over the weekend. 1, be coachable. 2, storytelling. 3, overcoming objections. And 4, live events. All right. So we're going to talk about each one of these in detail tonight. All right. And if you have any questions, feel free to hop off mute or put it in the chat and we'll get them answered. All right, so the first pillar, be coachable. And, this is kind of one of the fundamental pillars of any business. If you're not willing to listen and be coachable, then you shouldn't be an entrepreneur. You shouldn't be in business. But one of the pieces of advice that Mr. Selfs imparted was that you don't know what you don't know. And that's not your fault. When you're starting a business, you don't know what you don't know. But you may have to humble yourself and unlearn some things so that you can take your business, whatever it is, to the next level. Okay, that's part of being coachable, is unlearning the things that may have held you back in the past so that you can level up in your business. Another piece of advice that he gave us was that you should listen to those who have been who are or have been where you're trying to get to. So not saying that your peers don't have great advice, not saying that your peers don't have experiences that you can learn from, but if you're trying to become a ring earner, you should start listening to the ring earners. If you're trying to become a millionaire club member or $1 million earner, you should listen to those people because they've done exactly all the things that you're doing now, all the steps that you're taking now, all the pitfalls that you're facing now. They've been there and done that. So why would you not listen to the people who have charted the path that you're on and have made it to the point that you're trying to get to? Okay, so that's another part of being coachable, is listening to the right people. Now, there's nothing wrong. There's no problem with hearing people out and getting, some different perspectives, like I said. But if you want to be a ring earner, you should be listening to the ring earners and taking their advice. Another thing that Mr. Self said was sometimes you do have to relaunch your business. Sometimes you do have to go back to the drawing board. But one thing to remember is you're not starting over. You're just starting again because you already have all of that knowledge and experience and know-how to do better the next time that you relaunch. So those were some of the things that I took away from his Be Coachable pillar. Does anyone have any questions, any feedback? Mr. Beeford, did you want to add anything to this? Anything anyone wants to share?
I'm not going to add much because I think it's self-explanatory. Um, but I guess, what I would share with individuals, and I hear what Ms. Webb just shared, and I know the lessons that Mr. Self imparted. And I think because people, once again, because we live in a social media age, people really do believe you can just start up a business and become a multimillionaire overnight. They really believe that. Like they really believe there's such thing as business in a box. They really believe that, if they just meditate, hum to themselves long enough and hard enough, that somehow the money will drop. And what I would share with you is that it is so rare, right? Don't believe the hype. It's rare for a business owner to legitimately knock down 50K plus or even 100K plus per year. That's not something that happens free. It's not something that happens frequently, period. Number one, only 3 out of 4 people in the entire United States earn over 100K on a consistent basis, right? They say that if you count households together, and I'll just be frank, I know the statistics in the African American community better than any other communities. That's the community I study most. But they say it's only like 8%. Like 8-10% at the most earn 100K consistently. And they're barely getting to 100K. And in the entrepreneur ecosystem is not much different. And you have a choice. You can take 20 years to learn what Mr. Self knows, to learn what other entrepreneurs know. You can take 20 years, right? You can bump your head for 20 years if that's what you want to do, to learn the skill stacks, the knowledge stacks, the talent stacks, experience stacks. Or you could condense 20 years in convention, in a book, or jumping in on training calls, right? I am so thankful that these individuals in this company are willing to share what they know. Because where I come from in corporate America, the people who had the secret sauce that knew how to get it in, they didn't share the information. Like they kept it from us because they felt like if we knew it, we would take food off their plates. And this is the first company I've ever been involved in, first company I've ever been connected with, where the Millionaire Club members and ring owners will just tell you everything. Like they'll literally just give it all to you. And so, I'm prayerful that individuals listening in take what Ms. Webb is sharing to heart, and the lessons that Mr. Self imparted, because I cannot tell you how important it is. It's like, please don't believe social media. Entrepreneurship is not a game, right? It's not a game. And if you want to succeed at it, you have to be willing to learn the things and know that if someone in PPLSI is knocking down serious income with this business, they're not knocking it down because they're so special or they're so great. They're knocking down that kind of money because they've helped a lot of people, right? They've helped a lot of people win to get there. And that's a skill set. That takes a lot of experience and know-how. You're not going to figure that out overnight. So anyway, Ms. Webb, I'll turn it back over to you because I get on my soapbox, I'll go all night long. So go ahead. Sorry.
Thank you. So yes, pillar 1, be coachable. Humble yourself and just listen to the people who have had the success that you're working to have in this business or in any business. All right. Next pillar. Pillar 2 is the power of storytelling. This was something else that literally, like, the whole time that Mr. Self was on the stage at the Super Saturday, he told like 20 stories, because that's how important storytelling is in this business. So it's not just about the training, the technical know-how, it's about the stories, so that you can get into the spirit of how it feels to win in this business. And so he said, tell other people's stories. And it's okay. We borrow and we steal stories in this business. Okay. It's okay if the stories that you tell are not literally your own stories of things that happened to you while you got while you had the membership. There's nothing wrong with borrowing other people's stories and making it your own, or literally just saying, hey, one of our members, one of our associates, this, and this. So tell other people's stories. Don't be afraid to do that. Give examples and cautionary tales so that other people, other members and other associates know things not to do to, to avoid any pitfalls in their own business. So tell other people's stories. Another thing he shared was tell your own story, because each and every one of us has a story. Each and every one of us has a testimony. Each and every one of us has a situation where we benefited from employing the membership that we're paying into. So tell your story too when it's appropriate to do so, to help really drive home the value of the membership and the amazing opportunity that this business offers. And then he also said, tell the stories of those you've helped. So don't be afraid to give a shameless plug. If you have a potential associate who's kind of on the fence, or not sure, or whatever the case, tell them about other people who you've helped to PC qualify, or who you've helped to Fast Start qualify, or who you've helped to put a $700 bonus check in their pocket. Tell the story about those who you've helped, because those are powerful testimonies as well. So if anybody's, just not sure or has some reservations, these stories are going to help sell, quote unquote, sell the experience for them. So storytelling is critical when sharing the value of the membership and the value of this business as well. Does anyone have anything that they want to add to that, or share any experiences that they want to share with the group about storytelling and how it's maybe helped them? We'd love to hear from you all. So anything anyone wants to share. Anything you'd like to add, Mr. Beeford, about storytelling?
So, I shared earlier that I took on 3 partners today, taking on probably 2 more tomorrow. And I'm going to tell you that with each and every single one of those individuals, I did not tell my story. I shared Miss Selena Wells' story. I shared John and Lisa Schiller's story. I shared, who else's story did I share? I shared Diane Klein's story. Who else did I share? I shared Keith Dickens' story. I shared like several stories of other people. And some of the individuals whose stories I shared, they're not earning as much as me. Some of the stories I shared were for individuals who are earning 10 times as much as me, right? 10 times. And people don't look. It's one thing for you to be having success, right? You're having success, you're crushing it, you're winning. Was you're earning an extra $1,000 a day, and you're having $1,000 days in the business, or you're having $1,000 weeks or $1,000 months. But when you share other people's stories who are crushing it and winning, whether they're earning an extra 500, don't believe. Look, I shared Kevin Hunter's story. Kevin Hunter ain't been in the business 2 minutes. I shared his story about how part-time, spare time. I don't even think he knows what Performance Club is yet, but he's gonna be happy when he get that check. But I shared his story today. I talked about how I know this guy by name of Mr. Hunter. He does ride sharing, Lyft, and Uber. I met him a short while ago, shared information about what it is that we do. And without him not even having a lot of information about the company, not being a salesperson, not really having like owned or managed multiple businesses, how he just got started with us in part-time, spare time, just inviting people to learn what it is that we do in less than a week period of time. He has put himself between bonuses, commissions to earn in excess of 500, and how he's in position right now over the next week to perhaps earn another 800 to $1,000. So 2 week period of time. He's not doing the business 5 hours a week, I promise you. Right? He's not doing it 5 hours a week. He might be giving it 2 hours a week, but 2 hours a week, 2 week period of time, he's going to earn more money than some people who are working 40 hours a week earning an entire month. Real talk. And the young man listened today, says, you got to be kidding. I was like, no. Right? And, you know, Ms. Webb hit it on the head, so I'm not going to belabor the point. But I'm going to tell you the most important thing you can do is listen to people's stories. When I attend briefings, when I listen to Zoom calls, when I'm on our momentum call with TPP, even the bright spots here, you'll see me with my head down. It's not that I'm not paying attention. I'm literally taking notes on y'all's story. Like, I listen to your stories and then I take your stories out into the marketplace. Because that's called social evidence. It's one thing for you to have success when you can tell 3, 4, 5 other people's stories, whether they're earning an extra 500, extra 5,000, extra 50,000. It lets people know that it's real. It's not just a little small, tiny click winning, but obviously there's fertile soil here, because if you can have a Lyft driver, right? If you can have a social worker, if you can have a photographer, if you can have a truck driver, if you can have a B2B professional, if you can have someone who is in sales, if you can have someone that does graphic design, if you can have someone that does leadership training, if you can have someone that has owned smaller businesses in health and wellness, right? I'm just looking at some of your profiles, so I know some of your backgrounds. Think about how powerful that is, right? To learn the backgrounds of individuals and be able to take that story to the marketplace. I'll tell you, you will win all day, every day when people can see that. So I'll leave it at that. That edification piece and learning the stories, man, that is like the secret sauce. If you want to know what the superpower is, the one thing that will really separate you from 90%, 99% of everyone, is learning other people's stories and learning how to tell their stories and edify people other than you. And your business will take off like a rocket, I promise you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Beeford. And Maya, you had something in the chat. I think you had your hand up earlier. Do you want to elaborate on what you put in the chat? She might be unable to come off mute, but she put that she shared.
Nope, I got it. I had to find it. I was just saying, I shared my story with the amazing power of Legal Shield. I was just talking with a coworker, and she actually had it years ago, and she signed back up last week because we were just having a general conversation. And I was also talking about Mr. Buford's story about all the savings with the hotel situation that he had when he was traveling, and that they moved him. And it resonated with another colleague, but then come to find out she already had Legal Shield in the past. And I was like, well, there's some nuances that have changed probably since you've had it. And I love to, go over it with you and let you know some of the newer things going on. And she was kind of hesitant because she was like, I think she felt like she was betraying the person that she had signed up with before. But it reignited the thought of having Legal Shield because of some medical issues that her son is having. And I was like, well, have you thought about getting, medical power of attorney? You need an attorney. I can help you with that. And I shared my story about what my journey has been with taking care of being my son's caregiver after he had major car accidents and some of the things that I had to go through. And I'm sorry, I thought my camera was on. And that reignited, like I said, reignited her. So in just my passion and sharing my stories about what my experiences have been and sprinkling in some, some of Mr. Buford's stories, it actually reignited the memory to two people who already had Legal Shield in the past. And one signed up with me, and then the other one, she's kind of teetering. She was like, well, I'm probably going to go back to the person who signed me up before, but you're right. I do need to have it in order to help my son through his medical journey. So yeah, storytelling is crucial.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Ms. Maya. Thank you for that. Yeah, just tell stories, y'all. Bottom line, just whether it's your story, somebody else's story, collect those stories and tell them. Because one of the catchphrases in Legal Shield is facts tell, stories sell. All right. So storytelling. All right. Next pillar. Pillar 3, overcoming objections. So this is always a sore spot for a lot of people because like Mr. Self said over the weekend, people be peopling. And that is true. You know, we can't control people's attitudes, behaviors, things like that. All we can do is shed light. All we can do is offer a different perspective to get them thinking differently about the value of the membership or the value of the opportunity. So you're always going to have to overcome objections in this business, in any business. But he gave some really good examples of things that you can kind of say to get people to think differently when they throw an objection out at you. So one thing he said was, okay, if the person says they don't have time, because really, you know, that's pretty much everyone's excuse all the time. And he said, and I'm paraphrasing here, so forgive me if it sounds a little choppy, but he said something to the effect of, that's understandable. I understand you don't have time, but a quick question. If I can show you how to get paid while you're busy, would that interest you? And then he also said something kind of funny, like, how much time don't you have? You know, sometimes you have to kind of like do reverse psychology on people. Like they say that they don't have time, but how much time do they really not have? So people have had major success in this business just with nook and cranny time, like Ms. Tamika Maddox says. She was in the military, so she literally only had nook and cranny time to dedicate to Legal Shield. But she was able to retire from the military from this business by just continuing to forge ahead. So don't let anybody tell you that they don't have time. If someone says, I don't have the money, you want to say something like, and this is another example that Mr. Darnell Self gave. I appreciate your transparency and I want to help you so that you're not saying the same thing next month or the month after that or the month after that. So it's about the big picture, basically. If they don't have, and if they don't have $49 as a one-time investment fee, then that's probably a bigger issue. But money should not be the excuse, especially since the entry fee is so low. You know, it used to be $249, now it's only $50, and you can literally make that back with a couple of memberships, you know, the next week. So no money is definitely not a good excuse either. If people say I wouldn't be good at it, you want to really get to the root of what they mean by that. For example, what part wouldn't you be good at? So you wouldn't be good at sharing a video with someone? You wouldn't be good at inviting someone to a Zoom or to a live event? Drill down a little bit and get them to uncover what exactly do they mean by that? What wouldn't they be good at? Because you don't need any particular set of skills to do this business. We are professional inviters. That's literally all we are. We invite people to look at information and to learn about our membership. That's all we're doing is inviting. So how can you not be good at that? You know, you have no problem inviting people to other stuff like parties and, you know, stuff like that. So how could you not be good at inviting to learn about some information that will change, that can change people's lives, literally. So so don't just settle for I wouldn't be good at it. Drill down and get to the root of it. What exactly wouldn't they be good at? Because once they realize how simple it is and all that it takes, literally just inviting, that might, and again, people be peopling, but that might loosen them up a bit. If the objection is they're not interested, one thing that he suggested was you say something to the effect of, so I know for the future, what part specifically weren't you interested in? And then again, drill down, get some more information. Don't just settle for whatever they tell you. Ask questions, drill down, get to the root of it, because we also want to help save people from themselves, because people be in their own way, and we all know that. So don't just settle for, oh, I'm not interested. What part are you not interested in? Let me help you understand. Help me understand so I can help you, just gain some insight on exactly what it is that we do. And that might change their mind. If someone says, oh, it's a pyramid or a scam, I mean, we've all heard that one before. And he kind of, was a little smart with this one, where he said, if someone says it's a pyramid or a scam, and they have a full-time job, so they have an employer, he said, so where you work now, does your manager make more than you? Does their manager make more than them? Is that not a quote unquote pyramid? And another thing that someone else said during the Super Saturday was regarding Legal Shield. How can a company stay in business for 50 plus years, and people are getting paid from this business, and we have over 5 million members? How can that be a scam? We would have been out of business, 40 something years ago if that was the case. So again, just, you don't have to be an a-hole, but don't let people just tell you anything. Like, really uncover exactly why they have hesitations. Because really, like, if you work for an employer, that's basically a pyramid. I still work full time too. I have managers and they have managers, and they all make more than me. So, if you want to look at it that way, that's a pyramid. He also said, recruiting is what keeps businesses alive and companies, just like the NFL recruits for new players. That's what keeps the ship running, is recruiting and bringing on new talent. So is that a scam too? So just kind of, you don't want to be, like I said, you don't want to have an attitude, but you just want to give people a different insight, different perspective about this business. And then finally, if someone says, oh, I've tried it before, maybe it didn't work, in the past or whatever, but I've tried it before. You can say something to the effect of, oh, that's great. So how long ago did you start? And how does it feel to get paid today, to still get paid today for activity that you did, 10 plus years ago? And they might, if you say something like that, they might actually be like, huh, well, what do you mean? Yeah, are you still getting paid for activity that you did 10 years ago? And that in and of itself should but may reignite their interest in network marketing and in residual income in specific. So those are just some of the examples that he used to kind of combat the objections. And obviously there's 1,000 more, but the point is, don't just say, oh, okay, all right, well, next time, or let me know if you take interest in the future. No, ask more questions, get down to the bottom of exactly what is their reservation with becoming a member or with joining the business. Because once they hear themselves and some of the ridiculous things that come out of their mouth, they might change their tune. And I know we're running short on time, but does anyone have anything that they want to add to that? Any thoughts, any experiences, observations, best practices?
So I'm gonna be so sincere with y'all. That pyramid response, I probably get that once every 2 to 3 years. And y'all know how many people I talk to on a weekly basis. I only get that now when someone else has referred someone to me. If y'all introduce me to someone via three-way, I'll hear it. But in my own individual prospecting efforts, I don't get that at all. And I'm gonna tell you why. It's not because I'm so great or that I'm so good at overcoming objections and this, that, and other. Is I'll be transparent with you. I just lead with the value prop. I lead with the membership. I don't even talk about the opportunity. I don't talk about earning money with our company. I just don't. I talk about the service. I talk about how we change people's lives. I tell the stories about how the membership has been a blessing to people. And then I ask them 3 simple questions. Who do you know that could benefit? Who do you know that's a business owner? Who do you know that's looking to earn extra money sharing these services? And if people raise their hand and say, you know what, I want to participate in that, well, then let's go. And I'll be transparent with you. That's been my approach. That's the approach that I took to take on 3 business partners a day. That's the approach I'm gonna take to take on 2, 3 more tomorrow. I didn't chase those people down and say, please join me in business. And no, I didn't do any of that. I shared the service. If the service makes sense, remember, all a successful associate is at the end of the day is someone who has a membership, appreciates the membership, appreciates it so much they're willing to share with others and don't mind getting compensated for it. And so often we turn the 2-step into a salsa, when really that's all it is. Do they value the service? Okay. Do they value it enough to refer people to it? Okay. Would you mind it being compensated for the referrals? Okay. Well, then look, let's go work together. Right. And I'm just being real with you. I don't ever get that. I can't remember the last time someone fixed their mouth to ask me whether or not this was a pyramid or one of those things. Because I just crushed that objection right out the gate. I don't even mention it. I have people get upset and say, how come you didn't tell me about the business? I said, I need to make sure that you understand the value of the service for it, number one. And number two, you think you're evaluating us. I'm looking at you. I need to know whether or not you're a good fit for our organization. We're having success. We're crushing it. Like, success is self-evident. I need to know whether or not you're the type of person that fits with our culture. And when you adopt that posture, I'm telling you, it's very, very rare that you'll get anyone who dares to open their mouth and say something like that out of it. A lot of that has to do with posture and how you communicate the value prop.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, so let me hurry up and finish here. Pillar 4, live events. And we've been talking, every week we talk about the power of live events. And one of the things that Mr. Darnell Self communicated was, let the best train the rest. So if you can get people to a live event, and just move them along the life cycle of this process, that's going to pay dividends rather than you trying to explain or you trying to teach. No, get them to a live event in front of the millionaires, in front of the ring earners, in front of those who know how to share this service, who know how to share the opportunity. And when you can commit to getting people, 1 to 2 people to a live event, and they turn around and invite people to a live event, it multiplies, from there. So I just can't stress enough the power of live events. Everything that I'm sharing with you tonight was what I learned at a live event. Okay, so don't argue with people, don't be weird, just get them to a live event. And like I said, convention's coming up, and that's the event of all events in Legal Shield. So it really is important for you to plug in and soak up all that knowledge and keep your fire for your Legal Shield business going by engaging and being in the same room with all that energy. So does anyone have anything to add? Final, a last and final comment about live events?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
I'll make sure you can hear me. Okay, but yeah, the live events are really important, and I could say, I have been to 2 of them, so this will be my 3rd one. I am going to convention, and it really just ignites your fire. Like when you feeling in those places where you feel like discouraged, or sometimes you may feel like giving up, it really like make you want to not give up and just, keep pushing forward. And, it's so many people there that have been where you are. And, because they was consistent, because they didn't give up, because they kept pushing, they're farther along, and they can, give you encouragement, and you're able to actually talk to people that are millionaires, and I don't know any other business or company that you're able to actually talk with them and ask them questions, and they'll take a few minutes and say, hey, give you advice about what it is that you can do better, or something that you may have ran into an obstacle in your business, or like, okay, people are saying this and this and that, what do I do? I feel like I want to give up. Like they give you like it's as long as you be consistent and you just keep pushing, you will get far. And they just really give you that hope that, you'll get there. You just have to keep pushing forward. So that's what all I have to.
Thank you, Shardea. Thank you. So yeah, we're gonna always advocate for live events, period. Okay, whether that's in live events, like in-person events are awesome, but we don't forget about the Zoom events as well, because that's an event. A Zoom open house or a business briefing, that's an event. So get your people to events, period. All right, so those are the 4 pillars. So be coachable, tell stories, overcome objections, and get to the events. Those were the 4 things that Mr. Darnell Self, Millionaire Club member, $1 million ring earner, imparted on us over the weekend. So I wanted to share that information with you all as well. And thank you all so much for your time this evening. Really, really appreciate it. I'm so proud of this team. I'm so excited to see all of the success that we're having. And I can't wait. I miss you guys so much. I cannot wait for us to get together again and really just celebrate one another in this business, because we really do have something great going here. And I wish so much success for all of you. So thank you all for your time this evening. And we will do this again next week. Same time, same place.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm excited about the conference. Yay.
Me too.
Thank you.
Wait, y'all, I cannot wait. But have a great evening, everyone.